Imagine boarding an airplane that doesn't look like the planes we know today. Instead of a long tube with wings, the entire body is shaped like one giant wing. That's the idea behind the JetZero Z4, also known as a blended wing-body aircraft. This futuristic design promises to completely change the way we fly in the coming decades. The Z4 is not just a concept sketch anymore. JetZero, an American startup supported by major airlines like United and Delta, has already tested smaller prototypes, and they are working on a full-scale demonstrator that could be flying by 2027, with commercial service expected by 2030. What makes the Z4 special is its unique wing-shaped design. Unlike traditional airplanes where the fuselage and wings are separate, here the wings and body are blended into one continuous surface. This design improves aerodynamics, reduces drag, and creates more cabin space for passengers. In terms of performance, JetZero claims that the Z4 can deliver up to 50% better fuel efficiency per passenger mile compared to today's airplanes. That is a massive step forward, considering airlines spend billions on fuel and governments are pushing aviation to cut carbon emissions. The aircraft is designed with sustainability in mind, and JetZero is even working on a hydrogen-powered version that could make it a true zero-emission airplane. When it comes to specifications, the Z4 is planned to be a mid-size aircraft capable of carrying around 200 to 250 passengers. The range is expected to be similar to today's popular models like the Boeing 767, which means it will be suitable for both domestic and international flights. The engines are expected to be high-bypass turbofans optimized for fuel efficiency, though JetZero is leaving room for future propulsion systems like hydrogen or even hybrid electric technology. Inside, passengers can expect something very different from today's narrow tubes. Because of the wide, wing-shaped cabin, there will be more open space, allowing airlines to design interiors that feel like lounges rather than cramped rows. Early descriptions suggest layouts could include wider aisles, more legroom, and even areas where people can socialize, almost like a living room in the sky. This could completely change the passenger experience, making long flights much more comfortable. From a cost perspective, the aircraft is still under development, so an exact price tag hasn't been announced. But industry experts expect the Z4 to be competitive with similar-sized planes like the Boeing 787 or Airbus A330, which means prices could range between $120 and $150 million depending on configuration. Airlines are willing to pay that amount because the fuel savings over the aircraft's lifetime could be enormous. In terms of horsepower or thrust, details are still being finalized, but it is expected to use engines producing tens of thousands of pounds of thrust each, similar to today's medium-wide-body jets. The key is that the blended wing shape requires less thrust to achieve the same performance, because drag is reduced and lift is increased by the shape itself. That efficiency is what makes this design so exciting for the future of aviation. Safety is another important point. JetZero is working closely with NASA and the U.S. Air Force to test stability, flight controls, and emergency handling of this new shape. The Air Force sees potential in using the same design for military tankers or cargo planes, since the blended wing body can carry more fuel or cargo in a more compact footprint. If the military adopts the design, that could speed up development and certification for passenger use. Looking at timelines, JetZero plans to have its full-scale demonstrator in the air by 2027. If all goes well with testing, certification, and partnerships with airlines, we could see commercial flights entering service by 2030. That means in just a few years, passengers may be flying in an airplane that looks completely different from anything we've seen before. To put this into perspective, the last time commercial airplanes had such a big design shift was back in the 1960s with the introduction of the Boeing 747 jumbo jet. The Z4 could represent a similar leap forward, not just in size, but in efficiency and environmental impact. So what does this mean for the future traveler? It means quieter flights, more space inside the cabin, lower ticket costs because of fuel savings, and the possibility of greener air travel with hydrogen-powered engines. It also means that airlines like United and Delta, who are already backing this project, could be the first to offer passengers a seat on the next generation of airliners. In simple words, the JetZero Z4 is not just